somebody tells me, you shouldn't say this, or you cannot say this, that's when I know there is a need for me to say it. Because the reason that people have the confident audacity to try to censor me lets me know that they have successfully censored others, which then leads me to realize there are many people who think along the same lines as me. And I have to admit, I was surprised by the reaction to my last video. I didn't know how it was going to be received, and I am amazed by how many people have been thinking what I have been thinking from pretty much the very beginning. Some of you have told me you live in the area, you don't want to get attacked, and the attacks come from many different sides, and that's what happens when you put a team above your own common sense. So a lot of the people that attack and tell others what they should talk about or what they shouldn't talk about, they are not interested in getting the case solved. The case is not what's important to them. They are using the case of Sebastian for virtue signaling. They are using it to say, I am Team Sebastian. I am Team Seth. Anybody can say that. I rarely see that in the comment section of mine. Why? Because the people that watch my videos tend to be interested in actually solving the case. And it bothers them when a father of a missing child is passive and allows somebody like Chris Foot to bully him on a live. From the very beginning, the fact that Sebastian didn't feel comfortable or didn't feel it was going to be something that he should do to tell Seth about the abuse that he received at home, that was a flag for me already. That was, I already realized there is something very wrong with this picture. And a lot of people have failed Sebastian. So when I heard that one live and Chris Foot, just imagine a low life like that yelling at you, and you only thing you say is, hey buddy, when you already know the guy beat the crap out of your own child. And I realized that this was the way Chris Foot was yelling at Sebastian, probably since he was maybe, I don't know, 5 years old. Terrifying. And Seth says, hey buddy, he's being apologetic. I am saying all of this now because, of course, Seth is waking up and he's starting to do something he should have done from the very beginning, which is raise some noise. Let everybody know something is wrong here. And the last people that he should have been confiding in, or even staying with in the beginning, should be the Proudfoots. When he realized the shoes are all there, but they said he left, and nothing makes sense. He went on Vinny, whatever show, Vinny Politani crosses his arms and says, well, not in my opinion. And I think on that show, and I think on or maybe another one, he was telling us about having given Sebastian $40. And Chris calls him and says, did you give him money? What would you say if the stepfather of your child talked to you that way, like you're nothing? Yes, my son can have money. My son is 15. He needs to learn how to handle money. We need to work together. If you say all he does is buy candy with it and he comes home with the full box, and take it away from him, that's okay. Don't throw his damn toys away. But yes, take that candy. I agree. I have a big problem with my daughter's desire to eat candy. It's out of hand these days, in my opinion. So if I give her money and she buys a bunch of junk with that, then maybe the next time I will not give her money again. But she has to learn how to manage. The same way when saying he cannot be on social media at all. I disagree with that. You have to learn how to handle it. I think that, Chris Foot, of course, he's not using social media or the internet to do any research or anything significant. It's probably his, other than Sebastian Rogers related searches he's doing, it's probably all PORN or dating or swinger sites or whatever, what have you. So, of course, he's not smart enough to understand that the internet can be used for wonderful ways to connect with people who are like minded and to do actual research and find out things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to find out. And what also bothers me about the story with the $40 is that he didn't tell us how it ended. The lack of action. Yes, you can tell everybody, you can complain and complain and complain and play the victim, but you actually are not the victim in that case. You are a victim in terms of Sebastian being missing now, but when Chris Foot was yelling at you, humiliating you, emasculating you in front of everybody, you are a grown man. You have the opportunity to stand up for yourself. Sebastian wasn't able to do that. It was your choice not to stand up for yourself. I'm saying all of this is because I have no doubt that certain messages to Seth are being passed on to him. He gets to hear them. Of course, everything has to go through Tony. But I'm sure some of you have a direct line to him. And when it comes to Tony, don't let him lie to you either, Seth. When he makes you feel like police is close to solving the case. No, they're not. And they're not interested either. They're scared of this case. They want it to go away. They haven't done a thing. They're not going to do anything. But Seth, you have the opportunity to finally raise so much hell that they have to do something, even when they don't want to. And don't go Chris foot on me where you choose some, where you're okay with some people, with some lives that have you on there. But they don't have, no, you need a national audience. You need to say, I am Seth Rogers, I am the father of Sebastian, and something is wrong. Katie, my ex-wife, had something to do with this. And her husband knows what happened. And they've been lying about everything from day one. Now, I wasn't really, I didn't know Chris Proudfoot's pattern in the beginning, of course, but there were many times I looked at his statements, I analyzed them, and it was just red flag after red flag. And I thought, can he really be that stupid? Is it really possible? Of course, now we have the answer. But if I had to avoid a certain subject and don't want people to look at it, the last thing I would say, I cannot talk about it. If I had to hide something, I would probably, what would I do? I would probably put out a statement that is misleading. What Katie does when she scripts. But Chris Foot, he just steps right into crap every single time. Every single time. And he doesn't care. Why? Because he has previously successfully managed to intimidate people. Look at his entire neighborhood is intimidated. All of them are. They don't want to say anything. They could help a lot. They could come on the news and say, listen, my camera leads exactly on the street. And I have a camera in the back and on the side. I looked at this footage for hours after hours, but maybe law enforcement took it and just confiscated it and said, we don't want to look at it any further because then we have to answer questions why in the first 3 days we have failed to properly investigate what should have immediately been treated as a crime scene. When you saw the shoes are all there, all of his shoes are there. Many other reasons. For 3 days, they treated it like a runaway case. After 3 days, it took a 180-degree turn. Oh, great. For 3 days, you didn't have a damn clue that something was wrong? You didn't look at the statements? Nothing? So, Seth, if you get to hear this, grab your balls, brother, and go for it. And don't wait for other people. Like in the beginning, you waited for Trevor Lee and everybody to do right by you and do it for you and do a lot of people just don't do that. It's just the way it is. And then you blew up at them. And then you allowed them to attack you and make a joke out of everything. That was you. Don't let it get to the point. Be smarter than that. Know that there are people who really care, but they are not doing the whole damn virtue signaling thing. They don't post green hearts every hour and then gossip about the PI. I've seen that. I've seen those groups. I was in them for an hour in one of them. And I said to them, you shouldn't have Sebastian's name in the title if all you do is gossiping and talking about your ex-husbands, how much how much they remind you of Proudfoot. That's not what this is about. This is about finding out exactly what happened. Because we all have a choice whom we get in a relationship with, but Sebastian didn't have a choice. He was not able to make a decision whether or not his mom is going to be with Proudfoot. Sebastian loved his father, and his father was good to him, but his father did not protect him. And I can guarantee you, the fact when I heard, and still when I hear Proudfoot say, if he opens his damn effing mouth, that is going to be the last time he's going to do it. He knows from experience, he has intimidated him time and time again. Proudfoot is in charge, and Seth obeys the same way now. He's being a baby. He cannot even get online without Tony being there. Don't do that, Seth. Don't make the same mistakes again. If you want to be in a Netflix special, and yeah, but don't make sure you are comfortable with how it's being done. Don't let it be just another opportunity for the Proudfoots to mislead and lead away. Because otherwise you will, in a few years, again, fold your arms and say, well, Tony told me to sign it, so that's what I did. And then complain again. Take action now. Don't be passive-aggressive about this. There's no reason to be, because you are the only one who can make a difference now. As the father of a child, I can do my part, but I cannot do what you are doing. So don't rely on people all the time. Don't wait for people. I'm saying that because I want the case solved. I want to know what happened to your son, and I want the responsible people to be brought to justice. So it was a great start to get back at Chris the way you did. But that's only the beginning. Now the real work will come. And a lot of people will discourage you, try to discourage you. So, having said all this, Lauren from Facebook has done it again with a fantastic job of picking out a few clips. And she asked me about one of my comments, and I said, you know what? There's too much for me to type all that out on Twitter, which is why I'm going to go into this now in a video. Easier, better, more complete. If you have a hard time relating to Chris Foot and his statements, welcome to the club. The best thing that I can advise you to do is to think back to when you were maybe the age of 9 and you did something wrong and you tried to talk your way out of it. Think how you would think if you were, if you lost 20 IQ points. How would you try to outsmart others? Which is what he's trying to do, because he gotten away with something that he never thought he would be able to get away with. He knows he's not the brightest light. So for him to abstain from bragging is impossible. It is his form of duping delight. In Katie's Proudfoot's case, it's duping delight. In Chris's case, it is bragging rights. He doesn't show duping delight the same way that Katie Proudfoot does, but he expresses this pride in having, as he feels, outsmarted so many people. He expresses that in other ways. He expresses that by bragging. And I said on Twitter, I used the term conflicted because A, he wants this case to go away, but B, when is he going to have such an audience again? Yes, I have to close this because of the noise. So he told us, Sunday, I don't say nothing. Saturday, I don't say nothing. But anything after that, from midnight to 6, I can answer those questions. Yeah, Sunday, I don't say nothing. First of all, what is wrong with the picture? Remember these interviews that they have given? Chris told us, Chris was coaching Katie. Actually, he was there to hold her hand. Remember how he was looking at her while she was speaking? And he was nodding, and then he was coughing, because he knows she gets nervous and cannot do this on her own. She needs his presence there. Yes, in the last couple of interviews, she was doing the talking finally. But, he had to sit there with her. So he knows her weaknesses. Chris Proudfoot is an expert at people's weaknesses. That's how he finds his way around life. He exploits people's weaknesses. And he goes right at it because that's all he got. That's all he can do. Sunday, I don't say nothing. Yes, you did say a lot. You filled in the blanks for Katie too. You were there talking about what happened on Sunday, even though you were not there. That's third-party info. Why do you do that? Why don't you let her speak? Saturday, I don't say nothing. What happened Saturday? Should we look more into what happened actually the day before Sunday, or how this week has been in general? Chris Foot was angry. He probably talked to Sebastian on the phone. And Sebastian Sunday may have been bragging, hey, I'm getting spaghetti pancakes. And Chris was losing control. By the way, if Sebastian ever drew a picture of his family, including Katie, Chris, and his father, I would love to be able to see that. Those pictures usually tell you a lot. And I think Seth has seen a lot of warning signs. That's just my personal opinion. Um, when we say he missed warning signs, well, I think he saw them, but he was avoiding confrontation with Chris. How did it end with the $40? I know how it didn't end. It didn't end by Seth saying, don't you ever tell me my son cannot have any money. Don't you ever question. I am the father. I can give my son money. That's none of your damn business. Did he say those things? I can guarantee you he didn't say anything like that. He wouldn't have felt the need to say it the way he did when he was being interviewed. I think he ignored a lot of warning signs. And Sebastian eventually figured, I'm on my own. I love being with my dad, but, you know, my father is cowering to Chris. Sorry, but this is the way that I saw it when he allowed Chris to just yell at him and said, hey, come on, buddy, come on, buddy. Jesus Christ, man. I'm glad he's changing it now. And I really hope he's not going to stop. I hope he's going to see this through until we have the answers and know exactly what happened to Sebastian. I have said it before, I think Sebastian is no longer with us. I'm actually certain about it. I would love to be proven wrong. And I also love your comments when you guys point out things that I've missed or skipped over, which I often do when I realize, okay, I already did 35 minutes and, you know, maybe in the next video I'll get back to it and get deeper and deeper and deeper. But first I want to always go for the highlights. These highlights are very important to me to get to first. Saturday I don't say nothing. Sunday I don't say nothing. Saturday I don't say nothing. Why Saturday? I wonder what he is thinking about. Is he doing that only to distract and take importance away from what happened on Sunday? That he goes a day back further, or did something already start? Was there already a phone conversation? Did Sebastian already seem a little too confident for him and a little too free? And maybe from his point of view, a little too cocky, talking about what he's able to do now that he has a little bit of freedom. Maybe he was ordered not to be around Sebastian. Maybe Sebastian realized, okay, this guy is now avoiding me because I'm winning. Finally, after all this abuse, I'm starting to win. My dad missed all the warning signs, and maybe he told him a few things that Seth didn't really get into more. I mean, I'm not saying that to judge anybody, but I think it's extremely important to face all the family dynamics, to properly understand what exactly took place here, how all of this came to this boiling point. He said, I don't want to go, I want to stay with you. Did Seth ask him? Did Seth say, okay, this is a red flag. We need to now really understand what's going on in the house. What do you think is going on in this house if Chris is yelling at you like this, and you already knew he would throw all his toys away. So to say that he missed red flags, he saw them already. What did you say about it? What did you do about it? Did you take back the $40? Says, oh, okay, sorry, buddy, my bad. Yeah, you're right. What is it? Which is it? Because Sebastian, as I have said, the fact that he did not tell his father, who, you know, you would think that the father would be the first one he would run to, since they had a good relationship. They had a good relationship with each other. They got along. But he didn't think his father was going to be able to do anything about it. Maybe he witnessed Chris yelling at Seth. He witnessed a lot of things, I think. And the actions of children are very important to me. They explain how the grown ups act with each other. Sebastian saw no point in telling his father about how bad the abuse was. And now that a year has passed, Seth is realizing the mistakes he has made. And more than anything, he is realizing why we are in this situation. And we are in this situation because Chris hated his son. So the billboards, that was, the straw that, what was it? The straw that broke the camel's back or something like that? Yeah. That was it. That was the final straw, bro. Seriously, that was the final straw. That was the moment when Seth realized enough is enough. And I'm very happy he's gotten to the point. Very happy about it. And I hope it will continue. That I will see him in an interview with a big network without Tony, without needing a spokesperson, having learned you don't blow up at people like that. It's not helping the case at all. It only enables the perpetrators, the people responsible for what happened to your child. So if you know anything about Saturday, let me know in the comment section if there was anything significant during that day, or do we know anything about it? I haven't seen any statements regarding it, but it could be that there is something that took place already on Saturday. And I've said it before, that Katie didn't plan to have her niece and meet all the family. I think she wanted to have an alone day with Sebastian, not with a bunch of people who hated him. But I think Chris Foot wanted that because he was losing control. He was saying, no, 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 you're going to be with my family. You're going to be, and probably ask his sisters. So what was it like? How did Sebastian act? Did he, something to later on say to Katie about it? In statement analysis, we don't force conclusions. We don't create conclusions. We allow conclusions to become visible to us. The best analogy I can come up with is when I was maybe 6 and my dad gave me a puzzle, a huge one, thousands of pieces. And I realized one part, that's going to be a dog. So I was looking for the pieces, for the right pieces to get this dog done. So I found some pieces that were the same color like the dog, but they didn't fit in there. And I was actually trying to yank it in there to make it fit. And that's kind of what it's like when you try to hurry up and say, I want to know right now what happened, and I want to form a theory, and I want to come up with something, a conclusion right now, I think. And a very good statement analyst has done what I think was a premature conclusion in this case. Um, it happens. It's something that we want to do. We want to know what happened. But we need to step back and allow the pieces to reveal themselves to us as they come. The same with the question, was it premeditated or not? I will walk down the road of analyzing the statements, and it will come to me to the point where I can show you exactly, was it or wasn't it? So the 10 p.m. thought, I continue to say that was when Sebastian got fatally injured by falling out of bed, hitting his face on the floor. Which actually is what I was going to talk about now in this particular case, in this particular statement, where Chris says when the truth comes out, it's going to be amazing. But first, let's, because they're going to say it's an accident. It was an accident. And Chris Foot is going to be extremely happy and brag about how so many of the YouTubers got it wrong with their speculations. And by the way, I hardly watch any of this stuff. And especially when I see misleading titles in videos, new evidence. The moment I see the word new evidence, I'm not going to go down the road of a disappointment after wasting a lot of time and realizing there's no damn evidence. There's no new evidence. Or a bunch of speculations. And that's true. A lot of these YouTubers are making a crap load of speculations. And people love these. People tune in faithfully. And 2 weeks later, well, yeah, okay, so maybe I was off on this one, but here's a new speculation that I want you to waste 2 hours on. Not with me. I'm thankful to Lauren from Facebook, who enables me to do some analyses without having to listen to any garbage. But this is what Chris Proudfoot needs to make him feel better about himself and superior. He knows something that they don't know. Don't worry, I get back to this. When the truth comes out, the truth, how do you know? He's telling us he knows what the truth is. He knows what happened. Yes, he is that dumb and he is that blatant. He is that blatant to tell us he knows what happened. It's going to be amazing. You know what is going to be amazing? He is going to talk to these YouTubers and say, you see what you said? You said it was going to be this, and you speculated wrongly. Aha, you are idiots. You are dumber than me. That's going to be his point. It's going to be amazing for him. He is not worried. I mean, I thought that getting rid of a body is a crime, but he is confident because remember the story about what allegedly took place with him and his stepsister when he was a teenager? He got away with that, if the story is correct. He's used to getting away with things, and he's used to exploiting people's weaknesses. Doesn't matter who they are. So again, yes, I did an analysis of Terry Lynn's. I'm not going to spend another second on her. I'm going to post with Louise. I will. I sent you the video as I have pre-recorded it about the statement that you have transcribed, and let me know if you think it's good enough or if it will bore people. I will maybe put it as a link, the unlisted video as a link below this one, and you guys can let me know, is it good enough to just post it. The last thing I want is to bore you guys. I want to ease you into The sea of details. I may wait with it because I want you guys to first get to the highlights to understand the significances of all of these statements Chris Foot has been making. And then we'll dive deeper. When the truth comes out, he expects it to come out eventually, which is strange, right? Because he says there's no evidence. Does that mean he will tell us eventually what's happened? I don't know. Is he going to eventually tell somebody, or is he going to take us to his grave? And maybe that person will say something. I don't know. Or maybe he expects Katie to snap. I have no idea what the Foot is thinking. But now back to the first statement up there. Sunday, I don't say nothing. Saturday, I don't say nothing. Okay, you didn't say anything about Saturday. You're right. But you said a lot about Sunday when you were not even there. You had more to say or wanted to. You were more willing to talk than your wife. But anything after that, from midnight to 6, interesting, right? Midnight to 6. Wasn't that when Katie was asleep? Supposedly. Wasn't that when the Foot was supposedly off the phone with her because she was sleeping? She went upstairs to sleep, wasn't able to see anything and know anything until 6. If we believed what those people have said, midnight to 6 would be the time that they would have nothing to comment about. They wouldn't know a damn. I say damn a lot today, right? Yeah, but a damn thing. I took a break for a few days. I needed to get motivated again. Also, by the way, I was thinking about, some of that mudslinging, and some of you have asked me if I can analyze it. Yeah, I would analyze it bits and pieces, but I go for what helps us understand what exactly took place. And the fact that he says from midnight to 6, I can answer those questions. Now, what is he referring to? Is he referring to he can say he doesn't know, or what is he going to say? Or is he going to fill in the blanks again? Let's see. I am now looking at my Twitter page where, oh yeah, okay, let me play this one.
At 11:29, he says, I will give you a call later on. Sorry I didn't call you back. He said we was dealing with law enforcement. And, it's always when he gets a phone call while he's trying to call me or something like that, it's like, it's always Ellie calling. Like he's making excuses to get off the phone, or I start questioning him, he don't want to answer because he's like, okay. Yeah. And it was just really weird. And I asked him again about the closed Sebastian Moore. He said the closed Sebastian Moore at Texas Roadhouse are accounted for. I rode around with Ellie one day and they showed me some stuff. I will not provide the details of what was shown to me as people have asked. The phone call was with a search group called Narc Divers. Mm-hmm. They reached out and asked for information. What I provided to them is information that has been released already. I provided EMA director's point of contact to them and they took it from there. They recorded the conversation and posted it on YouTube as if it's some big thing. I had talked to Ellie before them and told them what I was going to say, and they were good with it. Anything Trey from the Narc Divers is saying is stuff that Ellie has already. Personally, they are wasting their time living within 5 miles of my house, according to Ellie. And the more, he said, I think after people sees this, he said, trust me, when the truth comes out, it's going to be amazing. Seeing how many people have to eat crow and look like the biggest pieces of garbage. True crime folks on YouTube should probably shut down their shows. LOL. Okay.
You hear that? Okay, let me hear.
11:29.
Let's go back to the end.
The more, he said, I think after people sees this, he said, trust me, when the truth comes out, it's going to be amazing. Seeing how many people have to eat crow and look like the biggest pieces of garbage. True crime folks on YouTube should probably shut down their shows. LOL.
Okay, so yes, that's actually what I said earlier. He is talking about, you see, this is what statement analysis does. You see how stupid you were, all of your wrong guesses. Statement analysis is accurate. That's what he's thinking, by the way. How stupid you guys are. He's focusing on what he can use against people. And as I have said, there's a reason I don't watch hardly anything. But I do listen to the clips that Lauren is posting and sharing. They are good. They are. She has an ability to listen to this garbage, but not lose focus, which is rare. She has the ability to listen to a whole bunch of nonsense without getting a headache. And the moment something comes up, bam, zoom in there. Let's share it. That's what I love, people. You see, people like that do not need to wear a label. I don't remember, I never say I'm team anything. I never said I'm team Sebastian. I'm team. That would mean I have to put myself into the same boat with a bunch of people who don't care about this and only want to do virtue signaling, saying, I'm a good person. Anybody can say I'm on a team without doing anything. Yes, I agree that it's a good thing to keep the name out there, but Seth has to be the one doing it. That's part of it. I agree, absolutely. But I don't remember Lauren ever saying I'm Team Sebastian, ever. She doesn't have to say that she's on Sebastian's side because it's obvious that she is by her work, by what she is doing. So I'm telling you all this because some of you have messaged me and said, I live around here, I can't say the things you're saying. I agree. I'm so happy you're saying it for so many of us. And many times when you have people trying to censor other people, there is a big danger that you may feel like you're alone in your thoughts. And that's what they want. They want to isolate. The silencing is deafening people. They want people to think, well, maybe I am a bad person, saying how I see the situation because he's the father of a missing child. Yes, I tell you, and I'll tell you guys, I watched the 1 hour or 1 year, I don't want to say anniversary, but a 1 year, the live that he did with Coffendaffer and Tony, of course. 1 year Sebastian missing. And yeah, of course it touched me. I mentioned that in a video before too. But then, oh, Seth is going to have another live. Great, let's tune in. After 5 seconds, I tuned out. And some of you have mentioned to me it was just a big nothing burger or something like that. Blah, 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 blah. Why am I listening to this? Nothing new, nothing important. The moment I saw Tony sit there and say, hello, that's low energy, that's passive aggressive low energy, I figured this is not going to go anywhere. Now we will see what he's going to come up with next. So yeah, people love to share this part and say, go Seth, go Seth. Well, let's see what's going to happen now. Where do we go from here? Don't stop now, Seth. Keep on going. And by the way, yeah, those of you who said I should reach out to him and have him on my... Tony, the first thing he has to do is free himself from Tony. Doesn't mean he has to fire him or get rid of him completely, but make up your own mind, Seth. Be your own person. You see, it's like you call Trevor Lee boy, but you're acting like, don't sit there and just let other people dictate every part of your life, every single aspect. This is your child. And no, I don't trust anybody. I mean, I don't trust Trevor Lee or any of them. Maybe he's a good guy, who knows? But here's one thing. Whenever somebody calls himself an activist or an expert, I immediately realize they feel the need to point this out because their actions may not lead you guys to conclude the same. rewind this and listen again if you have to, if you feel like there was something to it, and share that sentence on wherever you can, because people who feel the need to portray something, I'm not going to repeat it, guys. You see, now I feel like Proudfoot, where I'm feeling like, wow, I did something cool. I said something clever. But anyways, let's go back here. But anything after that, from midnight to 6. Oh, yeah, you mean Katie was asleep, right? Actually, let me go to the part where Lauren posts this. This may be very interesting, and this is maybe what I should be doing right now. Give me just 1 second, guys, okay? Talk to each other in chat. Give each other your own thoughts, please, because I am reading it, and I will be very happy to notice anything I may have missed. Oh God, now I don't see it. Okay, let me listen to this part.
So as soon as you start talking about Sunday.
Okay. So
I don't say nothing. Saturday, I don't say nothing. But anything after that, from the 6, from midnight to 6,
Okay.
being on the phone with her prior to, yeah, I can answer this question.
Okay.
And just so, I told somebody this before. My wife has popped off to somebody on Facebook about it. As nasty as some folks have been, my job as a husband is to protect.
Yeah, your job would also have to be protecting Sebastian, but nobody did. So I don't think Sebastian is alive anymore, but I want the case to be solved. And that's why I'm talking about Seth. You can solve it. You can help solve it. You are the one to do that. What questions can you answer? I can answer those questions. Which questions will you ask? Those questions? Not these questions. Those questions. The same way you can fill in the blanks. Nobody can answer these questions unless you were there. He's telling us, I can answer those questions. He is strengthening a previous statement where he told us that he was there. Sometime between midnight and 6 a.m. He was there. But anything after that, from midnight to 6, it should be in reverse. I can tell you about Sunday. I heard about it. I was on the phone with them. I was doing FaceTime maybe with them. They were, my sisters told me what happened. I asked them, how are things over there? And they talked to, because I'm sure that he wanted to hear from his sisters what they said, Katie said, or how everything is. Yeah, he can say a lot. He could say a lot about Sunday. And Saturday maybe also. Again, I don't know. But he wouldn't be able to say anything from midnight to 6. Not a thing. Not a damn thing. Yet, he is now in bragging mode. I can answer those questions. Yes, he is that dumb. He is that stupid. He can't help it. He is conflicted. He wants the case to go away. But he loves to know something others don't know. And he loves to win an argument. And he's almost looking forward to the truth coming out. It's going to be amazing because he can then talk to all of these people and tell them, you don't know nothing, boy. Let me see. What did I just skip? Lauren, what I provided to narc divers is all information that has been released already. And Lauren writes, but it wasn't. None of that about dogs tracking across the backyards was out there until that call was released. And we certainly didn't know how deep the pond was until Chris explained exactly how deep it was on him. Yeah, he went there with, I think, police, and they took him there. And he said about knee, I remember he said, I'm 5'9" and it's knee deep. Okay. So, according to neighbor Bobby, the dogs didn't track anything. They didn't track from the house. They didn't trace Sebastian from the house to the pond. They were taken there, right? From what I understand. And they hit something in the water. There was a hit. And he called narc divers because he wanted to explain to them something. He changed the narrative to them tracking a scent, right? Is that what I understood correctly? Filling in the blanks is exactly what he wants to do, to get people to stop looking at the important parts, the important areas. Let's hear a couple more of those, and give Lauren from Facebook a follow on X. Amazing work. They're wasting their time looking within 5 miles of our home. And Lauren said, how would he know that? How would anyone know that? Absolutely. 5 miles? A 5 mile radius? Think about from your house how far 5 miles is. In one direction, north, west, east, and south. Oh, and here's another thing, by the way, I forgot all about. You see, this is what happens when I haven't been active that much, that my mind is just overloaded with stuff I wanted to get to. Where did he say search northwest? Remember that? Okay, let me see. Oh, yeah. Listen to this one.
About, he had called me because I asked him, I said, there's too much to type here. I said, is there a way you could call me or can I call you? Because I said, it's a lot to type. And I said, I'm thinking about going back up to Tennessee. And I said, and searching again. And this has bothered me, and this has bothered me. And I talked to Lolly about this. She was the first person I told about this. And I told him, I said, if we come back up there, I said, would you be able to tell me where I need to go look?
Mm-hmm.
And so like I said, we were on the phone, and he said yes. And he said, I'm not supposed to tell anybody this, but I feel like I can trust you with this. And he said, but Ellie, listen to this part, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, you're fine. Ellie, my heart is like beating on my chest right now. He said Ellie has told us that Sebastian is most likely dead, and that we need to search northwest of the search. They've already done a 5 mile radius of a search, but they're saying that they need to go another 10 miles out. So we're looking at, so they already did 5, so there's another 15 out. So anywhere from 15 to 20 mile radius from the house. Northwest. Yes. And I said, why do you feel like he would have been in that area? Or is it a way he knew or what? And he said, that is just the direction Ellie recommended to us. Why is Ellie telling you that? Right. Why aren't they searching northwest? He said, I don't know. He said, that's just what they recommended. And he said, and all I can say is we're hanging in there, and that's all. And it really, that bothered me. I mean,
okay, so let's get right to it. The first thing that I did when I heard this, okay, let's get back to the 5 mile radius. How far 5 miles is? How far? And how many houses are there? He could be in any of those houses or on any of those properties. And you want to tell us one more time. We're done here. This is what, the fourth time or the fifth time that they're talking about don't look within 5 miles or 10 miles. Don't look within, don't do it. That tells me that's where Sebastian is, within these 10 miles. And when I heard north, northwest, look anywhere between east and south. East, south, southeast. And Gallatin is a straight line east from what I just saw. Unless I looked incorrectly. Gallatin, the house of the Bauer Success, the property, and all of the properties of the businesses of the Bauer Success are within a 10-mile radius. If Chris tells you to look somewhere, look exactly the opposite. And yes, he is that dumb. Why would law enforcement tell him that? I have no doubt that Chris has no problem lying about what law enforcement told him. And that was the other thing where Seth was told, oh, it's a trash truck. Don't believe Seth until he is active in saying, show me some proof. These glasses, okay, they're not Sebastian's. Wait a minute. He said they didn't answer his call, law enforcement. They didn't care enough. Take pictures, compare. You say, well, I didn't remember because 3 weeks I hadn't seen Sebastian. Well, demand the last pictures of him. And you will be able to tell. Because we can't wait for law enforcement to do and just sit back and say they're going to do everything. Some of the most difficult cases in the world have been solved by individuals who didn't take no for an answer, who didn't wait for anybody to do their job and then complain about it if they don't. They took the action. We need this action now. We need it. And the case can be solved and will be solved. But without Seth, I do not see this case ever being solved. So if you have a line to him, let him know what I said. I don't know if you think it's a good idea for him to watch my video. I think it is. I say the truth. I say the truth as I find it. Otherwise, it sounds too arrogant, right? I say the truth. I know the truth. No, I share the truth as I find it, as it comes to me. Remember what I said about the puzzle? You allow the pieces to become visible to you. And from there, you draw the conclusion without saying, I need to now find this piece. Find the 5 pieces that will complete the part of a dog. I will allow myself to see the bigger picture and then recognize, oh, look, okay, this color here, this looks like it belongs there. Let me figure. By the way, Sebastian loved puzzles, right? Yeah. Sebastian was, I think, very alert in many ways. He loved his father, but he also saw weaknesses, and he, I think, was right about figuring out, if I told my father that Chris is beating me with the belt, maybe he wouldn't have done anything about it. Or maybe he would have said it in a way that is so soft that Chris will just say, I will do what I want to do. I can do it. This is my house. And it would even encourage him to say, okay, I got Seth out of, I told him that I'm going to do what I want to do. So I'm going to do even more of it. Maybe Sebastian was worried about that. My dad will say something, but he will say it so soft that it will only cause me to get beaten even more until I will stop talking then, knowing that I will get beaten again and again. He finally had courage. He finally was able to say, I'm going to tell now my teachers or my counselors. He finally felt safer. He knew that there were people who care and people who can take action and will take action. And I'm sure that upset Chris very much when he heard that morning Sebastian bragging about spaghetti pancakes. You see, now I'm free. I can do anything I want. And yes, people use the term narcissist all the time. I don't, I am very careful with any kinds of labels, period. And boxing in anybody or anything. That's too easy. That doesn't get us anywhere. Except in certain areas where you have exceptions in statement analysis. And one of these areas is sociopathy. And Katie Proudfoot is, in my opinion, a sociopath. Just a reminder that everybody's innocent until proven guilty. In the court of law, I'm not a jury member, I'm not a judge. And what I'm doing is voicing my thoughts about the case that should be known to everybody and not be subject to sidetracking any longer. I am Mike the Man, and I see you next time.